Comms. Communication. Very important in games, particularly in shooters, but really across the board. Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Gaming. This is Tarkov Talks, a show where we discuss mostly gaming while I play Tarkov in the background. Today's going to be a little bit different. There's no even form of a script and no six today, no partner in crime here for the discussion, so it'll be just me and mostly a free thought about communications in gaming. Again, most of this will apply to FPS, to shooters, but really the logic applies to pretty much everything else as well. Now, the first thing, obviously, everyone knows that the comms are important, but a lot of people don't really know how to give them, and they don't know the consequences of their comms if they aren't given in the best possible way. Take the place where I'm standing, for instance. If you were to see somebody to the right of that building, but you don't know where your team is standing, if you say, hey, there's a guy to the right of this building, that seems great for you, but if your team is on the other side of the building, it is possibly not only a meaningless comm, but could be actually harmful, because they start looking right, but for them, the perspective is left. Now, there's a few ways to deal with this sort of problem. First, again, you're in this solution. You're in this situation here. You see a body, you say, hey, there's a body to the left of this building. Now, if your teammate is here and you know where they are and you know where they're looking, that's fine. If you're all stacked together and you say left of this building, perfectly acceptable. However, again, if they're on the other side, they're over there. If they're on that side of the building and you say left, they're going to think, well, it's where you're standing. Now, a couple ways to fix that. One, context outside of what you yourself can see. Context outside of what is immediately there. So in this case, if you don't have any word for the call out, go, it's on the side towards the other building, or towards the other dorm building. If you have better callouts for it, you could describe, this is an NPC, okay. In this particular case, if you were to say that, it'd be ice cream 2-story side. Now, I'm the callouts for this particular map in this game, but if you don't know those, then the not a more general description, but a fuller description that covers other things that you can see in the map. Now, the consequences, of course, of not doing it this way is usually people getting murdered. If you're giving callouts for where the other team is, a really good chance of team kills for giving direction-based comms without having context to where your team's direction is. Direction-based comms generally bad. Left, right, most of the time bad, unless you have a further context and their access to put on that. You know, here. Is that a player? No. Left of the train bad, right of the train bad, wall side of the train. Oh, that's even complicated. Now again, knowing the map helps. So for here, you could say near the white part of the train, near the red part of the train. That's probably a person. Hey, what's up? Now, I'm being followed. Hopefully, I do not get murdered by this other player scav. Okay, where was I? Yes. Other types of callouts. Now, more solutions for how to deal with this callout quandary here is, of course, to learn the callouts for your game, to learn the callouts specifically for the map that you are on. This was a player. Exciting. Let's get rid of that. Going to take some of this here loots. And that mask. And his food. Okay. There could be more bodies inside. There was actually a specific building that I wanted to show when I was thinking about this talk. that I'm going to go take you to what I'm discussing. So, learning the game's comms, obviously important. This is shortcut. This is new gas. Overpass, although this kind of requires context, although I don't think there's really any other overpasses on this. But if you're anywhere near this area and you're calling overpass, somebody should know what you're talking about just by the visual description, if nothing else. This next area that I'm coming up to, however, it has a complicated series of names depending on who you're playing with. So most people I play with call this group, this building, skeleton. Unfortunately, other people will call this construction, or I've also heard people call this one little skeleton and call that one big skeleton. Now, most people I play with call that building over there little skeleton or small. This building is skeleton, and that building here is fortress or stronghold, or strong. Now, unfortunately, that big building there, I have heard people call that fortress, stronghold, construction, Alamo. There's something else I'm forgetting that goes along with that. We'll take the scope off of this one as well. And so again, you come to a position, if you don't know what your group's comms are, how do you communicate this building? How do you distinguish this one from this one? So you're standing here, I see someone in the building. Now, that's tough. This one has walls, that one doesn't. See someone in the big building with more walls, if you have nothing else. Or the building surrounded by connexes or shipping containers, depending on how you call it. Again, I've called these connexes and had people I play with have no idea what I'm talking about. But that's, again, what I'm used to for my main group's terminology in this. Let's see. Cardinal directions are also tough. In a game without a map just visible on your screen, it is hard to say north or south unless you are totally aware that the people you play with know which way is which. In this case, I don't know which way on this map is north or south. I could probably figure it out if I thought about it, but in the middle of a combat type situation, I am not going to be able to respond to a north-south call out in a meaningful type way. Ooh, almost fell off. Let's see, anything else in this place I want to peep? Go check the loot room over here. So, this might not have been looted. Pretty nice. Now, the other negative of bad comms, and it's really more important than just, because somebody could get killed in the game or not. It's also like a huge source of potential friction among the people playing. If somebody dies because of bad comms, it now has a feeling of, well, it's their fault. They gave me bad comms, and so I died. And that's really not a good feeling to have. You don't want to feel like you're, blaming the people you're playing with. And you don't want to feel responsible for having killed them with those bad callouts either. Let's check out some of this loot. Ooh, what do we got here? Armor, Untar, and what the heck. Now, outside of shooters, comms are still pretty important, and that's mostly just being vocal about what's going on. If you're playing some kind of an RPG, an MMO, that kind of thing, and you have, say, used your big cooldown before you have supposed to, if you're fat fingering it, letting people know in your raid or in your group if it's a smaller party, hey, don't have this button anymore. I don't have this option anymore, is pretty significant. for pretty much the same reasons, although kind of different. Do we have room? We do. Different consequence, but always for the success of the group. Where to go? We'll go to old gas. So definitely got a bit of a ramble on here. It's interesting. It's a little bit more difficult to tackle one of these discussion topics where I haven't prepped myself in almost any way, and where I don't have somebody else to talk with and bounce ideas off. What is this? Yeah, we'll put that on instead, thanks. Let's see if this is good ammo. Not good enough to worry about that anymore with. Okay. No, I heard somebody else. This could be greeting a bit. Oh my. Sorry about that, folks. Take that little bit of greed and head to the extract. And that's actually another thing that's tough. That's actually a really good point to myself. And looking at that, I stopped communicating. Oh no. Oh no, the greed. Okay. I stopped communicating when that happened. People get that too. They stop talking, middle of combat. Totally understandable, super problematic. I run in mid-sentence and I start firing at something, getting fired at, and I don't give any communication. My teammates, now that I'm in the midst of those bushes, don't know where I'm at. Which one is me? Which one is somebody else? So one last little bit that I didn't really mention quite as much as I wanted to in the run. And if you've got this far, good on you, I guess. Giving more specific comms is better. But if all you can do is give a general somewhere forward the direction we're running, I don't know anything more. Admit you don't know. Don't give just a vague, it's over there in the bush. Be like, up ahead somewhere, not sure. That clarification is going to stop them from trying to push you for more comms. Because often, hey, it's up there by the tree. Which tree? How far up? Anything. If you're like, I heard a noise to my right, not sure what else, that at least alerts your team to start doing something about it, to be attentive without actually making them look in the wrong directions. So again, if you have enjoyed this, a little bit surprised actually if you have, but like, subscribe, all that jazz. In future weeks, we should have a 6-pack here or a more, not necessarily a scripted idea, but at least one with a little bit more rubrics for myself, a little bit more talking points. We are going to discuss the challenges of content creation as a non-specifically gaming topic. And we're also going to discuss, have an interview with a Texas police officer, which again, something totally different. It is a gaming friend of six of mine. So some tie into there, but also just kind of like some questions of what life is like in that, how they feel, how, just something a little bit different to try for the channel, for the talk. So again, like, subscribe, comment, tell me how stupid this was, how great it was, how much you wish you got this loot, and how much I wish anyone had left the guns on these bodies. I should have filled this up with loot. I'm bad at this. This has been Sharden. This has been Alternate Image Gaming with Tarkov Talks, and you guys have a good day.